The armies of Dol Guldur, Easterlings, Isengard, and Mordor attacked the Dwarven fort. The total number of 4 armies consisted of 20,000 orcs and people of Rhûn. Gimli, on the other hand, had no more than 5,000 dwarves, ordinary warriors who are not the elite of the dwarf race. The hordes of Sauron poured into the fortifications of the dwarves. The orcs and the Rhûn men began to assault the fort from all sides. The dwarves valiantly held back the onslaught of the orcs and successfully repelled the attacks of the enemy. The Easterling army was late for the battle, but they arrived on time. The leader of the Rhûn army led almost 5,000 warriors, of which half were Varangians. The Variags of Rhûn and the Easterling infantry, having joined the battle, claimed the lives of hundreds of dwarves, and the defenders were forced to retreat deep into the fortifications. Something must be done. While the battle for the walls of the fortification was going on, Gimli, secretly from the enemy, destroyed the palisade in difficult terrain and led a brave 1,000 warriors through a gap in the fortification fence. The dwarves went to the rear of the main mass of the enemy warriors, and riddled them with throwing axes. The gnomes, hiding behind the bushes, began to throw axes at the orcs and Rhûn people. Orcs and Rhûn people began to suffer huge losses, unable to defend themselves from throwing axes. Many of the enemy warriors begin to flee. The leader of the Easterling army also decides to retreat, not wanting to lose his elite units. The enemy flees. Gimli lost no more than 1,300 dwarves. By the evening, having restored their strength, the dwarves continue their journey. The dwarves went to the lands of Gondor. A day later they crossed Pelagr and were already approaching the borders of Herat. The enemy does not sleep and ambush the dwarves. Gimli expected a possible ambush. The column of dwarves lined up so that it was convenient to repel the onslaught from all sides. 10,000 Harad warriors of all sorts rushed at the dwarves prepared for the battle. All attempts of the Haradrim to break the column of dwarves failed. The dwarves furiously cut down the enemy warriors. Gimli personally hit the leader of Harad with his axe. The enemy fighters saw the death of their commander and rushed to flight. Harad was defeated. No more than 500 dwarves died in the ambush. Gimli decides to speed up the march of the dwarves so as not to fall into an ambush again. Gimli does not have time to start assault on the fortress of Ar-Adanaim. The army of Dol Amroth and Aragorn's Dunedain detachment are already on the assault. The people of Dol Amroth will not be able to take the city. Ar-Adanaim sent the fleet to help, and now the city has a garrison of more than 20,000, of which most are heavily equipped elite warriors of Ar-Adanaim. The dwarves finally reach the walls of the city. Gimli's engineers have already built siege weapons that have begun to deal damage with projectiles on the walls of the city. When the walls of the city collapsed, the dwarves rushed into the breach under a flurry of arrows. Gimli led his soldiers to the rear of the fighting warriors of Ar-Adanaim with the fighters of Dol Amroth. The dwarves began to furiously destroy the divisions of Ar-Adanaim, skillfully wielding axes and axes. The dwarves dealt a crushing blow to the rear of Ar-Adunnaim's army. The heavy infantry of the defenders could not cope with the enraged and furious dwarves.